Hello, young scholars. This is Mr. Martyrin with your Flip Classroom, an introduction to political ideologies. Now, when talking about political ideologies, it's important to remember that there is no right or wrong ideology. An ideology is simply a reflection of your beliefs at the time. Your ideologies may change as you get older, and different life experiences may shape your political ideology and outlook. So, in order to understand where someone's coming from politically, we first must understand what it means to have a political ideology. So, political scientists break down your political ideology into 5 categories. At the center are moderates. To the left of center are liberals. To the right of center are conservatives. To the extremes on both sides, to the extreme left are radicals, and to the extreme right are reactionaries. In today's class, we're going to explore the differences between these 5 categories. All right, young scholars, so the first category that we're going to talk about are the moderates. And these are the people that are in the middle of our political spectrum. Moderates are people that are open to minor changes in public policy. Most Americans describe themselves as politically moderate. They're neither liberal nor conservative. They may have some characteristics of both, but for the most part, they fall in the dead center. You can be a Democrat and be a moderate. You can be a Republican and be a moderate. It's important to understand that these are people that are open to small changes in policy, nothing drastic. Moving to the left of our political spectrum, our next group are liberals. And liberals are people who favor some change in public policy. Some of the more notable examples include President Biden. Former Presidents Obama and Clinton are characterized as liberals. Typically, if you're a member of the Democratic Party, you have liberal tendencies, and liberals tend to supporting the passage of laws that keep businesses from doing harmful and unfair things. Usually, liberals tend to favor more government control in order to promote equality. Counterbalancing liberals' desire for changing in public policy are conservatives, and they are to the right of the moderates. Conservatives favor maintaining what's called the status quo. These are people who believe in maintaining existing public policies. Examples include former President Bush and former President Trump. Typically, members of the Republican Party tend to be conservative, and they also believe that businesses and individuals are the best at solving problems. Usually, conservatives favor less government control as a means for promoting equality. Okay, we're now going to move to the extreme left side of our political spectrum. Those individuals that favor extreme changes in public policy are called radicals. Usually, historically, radicals are violent or have been violent. During the French Revolution, radicals included Maximilien Robespierre and the Jacobin Club, who advocated for executing Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. Other examples include socialists and communists, although it's important to understand that not all socialists and communists are violent in their beliefs, but they do believe that government should regulate people and businesses in order to promote the common good on all issues. All right, young scholars, we're now going to swing from the far left all the way to the far right. People on the far right of our political spectrum are called reactionaries. Reactionaries are those who favor a return to past policies. Usually and historically, like radicals, reactionaries are violent. Reactionaries tend to favor strong order in their country as opposed to equality. They believe that the government should leave people and businesses alone, and individuals should be allowed to do what they want to do. Historical examples of reactionary governments include fascist Germany in 1930 and totalitarian regimes throughout the world. As you're studying and trying to make sense of where you fall and where your friends fall on the political ideologies, remember this. Moderates are open to small, minor changes in policies. Conservatives tend to favor leaving things as they are and maintaining the status quo. Liberals tend to favor some change in public policy, whereas radicals and reactionaries are usually violent. What differentiates them is radicals tend to favor equality over order, and reactionaries tend to favor a return to past policies. So if we were going to introduce a school lunch program into our schools, Moderates would say that, you know what, the government should encourage schools to offer healthy alternatives other than junk food in our school lunches, but let kids and parents make the final decision on what's best for them. Liberals would argue that the government should require that only healthy food options are given to kids at school, that this is a publicly funded place with taxpayer dollars, and it is in the best interest of the government to ensure that everyone is healthy, and the only way to do that is by providing healthy options for our students. Now, conservatives would argue that the government should leave it up to the families and individuals to teach and learn about healthy food options. And if a child wants to come in and have a healthy lunch, he or she is free to do so, but it's the individual's choice. So, conservatives in this scenario would argue that the government should leave it up to families to teach about food and food safety and leave schools out of that decision making process. All right, young scholars, so that concludes our introduction to political ideologies, and we will be diving deeper into these themes during class. And it's important to remember that we aren't necessarily defined by which category we fit into, but in order to maintain the health of a democracy, we have to understand our differences and our similarities. And we also have to understand that we may not always agree with someone's political ideology or political views, but if we can keep a dialogue going, you will discover that most people have more in common than what divides them. Until next time, I'm Mr. Marderone. I'll see you later.